It's the calm before the storm right here. Wait, how was I gonna start this off? I forgot. Oh yeah. That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it on Donald Trump? Probably not, but that's all I got till I come up with a solid...
He advocated more countries getting them, Japan, Korea, even Saudi Arabia. He said, well, if we
got
have
a
them,
plan, and now I got a hatchet like a damn Apache with a tomahawk. I'ma walk inside a mosque on Ramadan and say a prayer that every time talks, she gets a mouth. I'ma stop. But we better give Obama props, cause what we got in office now's a kamikaze that'll probably cause a nuclear holocaust. And while the drama pops and he waits for shit to quiet down, he'll just gas his plane up and fly around till the bombing stops. Intensity's heightened, tensions are rising. Trump, when it comes to giving a shit, you're stingy as I am. Except when it comes to having the balls to go against me, you hide them. Cause you don't got the nuts like an empty asylum. Racism's the only thing he's fantastic for. Cause that's how he gets his rocks off and he's orange. Yeah, sick tan. That's why he wants us to disband, cause he cannot withstand the fact we're not afraid of Trump. Walking on eggshells, I came to stomp. That's why he keeps screaming, drain the swamp, cause he's in quicksand. It's like we take a step forwards then backwards. But this is his form of distraction. Plus he gets an enormous reaction when he attacks the NFL, so we focus on that. And instead of talking Puerto Rico with gun reform for Nevada, all these horrible tragedies, and he's bored and would rather cause a Twitter storm with the Packers. Then says he wants to lower our taxes. Then who's gonna pay for his extravagant trips back and forth with his fam to his golf resorts and his mansions? Same shit that he tormented Hillary for and he slandered, then does it more. From his endorsement of banning support for the Klansmen, tiki torches in hand for the soldier that's black and comes home from Iraq and is still told to go back to Africa. Fork and a dagger in this racist 94-year-old grandpa who keeps ignoring our past historical deplorable factors. Now if you're a black athlete, you're a spoiled little brat for trying to use your platform or your stature to try to give those a voice who don't have one. He says you're spitting in the face of vets who fought for us, you bastards.
I can say that with confidence.
Unless you're a POW who's tortured and battered, cause to him you're zeros cause he don't like his war heroes captured. That's not disrespecting the military. That. This is for Colin. Ball up a fist. And keep that shit balled. Like Donald the bitch. He's gonna get rid of all immigrants. He's gonna build that thing up taller than this. Well, if he does build it, I hope it's rock solid with bricks. Cause like him in politics, I'm using all of his tricks. Cause I'm throwing that piece of shit against the wall till it stinks. And any fan of mine who's a supporter of his, I'm drawing in the sand a line. You're either for or against. And if you can't decide who you like more in your split on who you should stand beside, I'll do it for you with this.
I think it's very disrespectful to our country.
The rest of America, stand up.
First of all, nicely played.
We love our military, and we love our country. But we hate Trump!
12-year-old Tamir Rice was shot by Cleveland police officer Timothy Lohman. Tamir Rice was pronounced dead at the hospital 9 hours later.
Let's talk white privilege for a moment, shall we?
I want you to admit that there is such a thing as white privilege.
White privilege means having the confidence to draw, point, and fire a weapon at a counter-protester acting like a jackass in a mass crowd with police less than 10 feet away. White privilege means that after yelling and attempting to shoot someone, you are charged with discharging a firearm within 1,000 feet of a school. White privilege means a known Grand Wizard of the KKK is treated by police as if he had just been shooting cans for target practice near a school. Whereas 12-year-old Tamir Rice was shot dead by police just for playing with a toy gun. And Philando Castile, yeah, he was shot 7 times from point-blank range during a traffic stop after voluntarily disclosing that he had a legally registered weapon in the car. Now tell me again how white privilege does not exist. Now let's for a second switch the races on this coward. Let's say he was a black man who openly drew and discharged a weapon at someone in plain sight of law enforcement. Would he be standing in front of the judge facing the charge of having a weapon close to a school? Hell no! Say he had been attending a Black Lives Matter rally. How would this change the narrative? Would right-wingers be as silent as they have been over this act of terror, or would they be screaming from the rooftops about how this is what BLM stands for? Or better yet, say he had been a Muslim extremist firing a weapon at a counter-protester. Do you think law enforcement would have been too distracted by the crowd not to hear the gunshot? But this is just another reminder that protesting while white means the ability to do as you please while facing few, if any, direct repercussions. Let me take you back. Anyone remember Ferguson? Yeah, I distinctly recall tanks in the street. I recall unarmed protesters being pinned to the ground and beaten as if they were enemy forces on the front lines of f***ing Afghanistan. But right-wing extremists can come to their hate party looking like f***ing Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando, and they are given the hands-off, don't shoot treatment and a slap on the wrist. Right-wing terrorists can be caught on video brutally beating a black teenager and walk free for weeks, only being held accountable after a huge social media push to condemn them. Oh, but don't worry everyone, the statues can sleep well at night knowing that law enforcement were quick to identify and arrest the 7 threats to public safety who allegedly toppled a Confederate statue. But we've heard this song for years. For years, armed right-wing militia have been turning up at their protests armed to the teeth, intimidating everyone, including law enforcement.
I will kill you. State trooper.
Anyone remember the Bundy brothers?
We need you to bring your arms, and we need you to come to the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge.
The group was arrested last February after a 6-week-long occupation on the Malheur Wildlife Refuge, during which they broke into a federal facility, defiled Native American artifacts and burial grounds, and threatened police and other officials with assault rifles and other weapons, only to be acquitted on all charges.
I just want to come out and offer you guys the opportunity to help you get out.
Oh, remember that time when 8 black protesters staged an armed takeover of a federal facility and got off scot-free? Yeah, me neither. I mean, lo and behold, if a black guy takes a knee before a football game to highlight inequality in the arrest, sentencing, and use of deadly force against black bodies by the justice system, he is denounced as a traitor for disrespecting law enforcement. But as long as you're white, threatening to shoot law enforcement if approached, or anyone for that matter, a protest, well, you're just a good old-fashioned patriot concerned about preserving traditional rights. Time and time again, we find ourselves discussing police violence towards an unarmed black citizen when people on the right attempt to justify police response by suggesting that the victim was endangering the police who feared for their lives.
But maybe this officer was justified. Maybe this was a bad guy. Maybe he wasn't the gentle giant.
While here, we have an armed thug who opens fire, endangering the lives of several people, and the police response is nothing. No intervention, no effort to hold him any more accountable than an everyday jaywalker. He openly shot at a person. This shit is bananas. How about attempted murder? How about hate crime? How about unlawful brandishing of a firearm? Unlawful discharge of a firearm? Unlawful discharge of a firearm within city limits? Unlawful brandishing of a firearm with intent to intimidate? But no, a non-member of the KKK will face the limp arm of the law for firing a weapon in front of police. All while, in 2 months' time, we will be remembering the 3rd year anniversary of when a 12-year-old was shot dead for playing with a toy gun. That's what it means to have white privilege. Follow me on Instagram at Francis M. Maxwell and on Twitter at Francis M. Maxwell. Like and share the video. Continue to resist.